every time.
I know. I'm always surprised. Hey everybody, how are you? It is Jeff Gellman of Solid Canine Training with my weekly dog training Q&A show. What would Jeff do? Coming to you live from Providence, Rhode Island. How's everybody doing? Happy to be here. Excited to be here. Try doing that again and see if it comes up in a little bit different format. So I do this at least I try to do this once a week. And what's gonna happen is you'll ask your questions. I will give you an answer. You'll get a really good answer. You'll get a short answer. If you've never listened to my show before, it's you only get about 15 seconds of an answer from me. So it's not like it's this in-depth response. If you want an in-depth response, join my Patreon page, which you get like literally one-on-one help. If you're new to my Patreon page, you can see what I do there. In fact, I opened up the last Q&A answer. It was where I spent a good amount of time on every single question, and I tailor it. But if you don't know who I am, my name is Jeff Gellman of Solid Canine Training. I'm a dog trainer, business owner, seminar speaker. I travel the world. I've got a dog training facility with awesome staff up in Providence, Rhode Island. We specialize in aggression rehab and behavior modification. We work with some extremely challenging dogs, aggression, massive amounts of anxiety and fear, really bad behaviors. But we also work with, some easier peasier, dogs. So if you're also new, you're gonna hear me talk about punishment a lot. The reason why I talk about punishment a lot is because nobody else is. But that's also the only way to stop an unwanted behavior is through punishment. Hey Joseph, how are you? Hope you and your family are doing great.
Hey Joseph,
yep, we're thinking about you, buddy. Tell Lizette we said hi. The only way you can stop an unwanted behavior is through punishment. It's impossible to stop it any other way. Also, when we want to train a dog to do something, we're obviously doing, reward-based training. We're not going to talk science. We're not going to talk technical. People that are overly scientific usually are full of shit. They don't know what they're talking about. It's going to be simple terms. So reward this, punish that. Really simple concepts. Now you have to learn as a dog owner or dog trainer how to properly punish a dog. There actually is a proper way to do it where the dog, understands. So also feel free to share this site, this webinar, and then also feel free to follow me. But check out all of our other social media channels. Start with our website of Solid Canine Training, and then also you want to go to our Instagram page and our Facebook page. Definitely want to check out our Patreon page because you get a whole nother experience on that where it's more one-on-one. All right, Linda, what do we got?
We got how to teach drop/out.
I've got a video on how to teach drop/out. I use a remote collar for that. It's the simplest way to do it. It's easier than teaching a dog to sit. It's also just a quick, you say the word out, you do the leash pop. So that's the best way to do that. Next.
Dude, it's the weekend. Come on. LOL. We appreciate it, though.
So just to let you know, hustlers don't have weekends. Hustlers don't have weekends. Successful people work, we work all the time, and this is fun for me. This is like the second part of our date night. We went out for dinner tonight, then we went to desserts, and then we came back here and we're doing a show. This is fun. This is not work. This is fun. Anyway, go ahead.
Hope you guys had a good date night.
Fantastic date night. We went to North, and then for dessert, we went to Federal Hill Pizza. Next.
Great seeing y'all.
Thank you.
Bonkers has been great too.
Yeah, Bonker is a wonderful tool. Bonker is a towel. It's a towel that you wrap up, and you would use that as a punisher. You would say the word no, and then you throw it at the dog. Yes, you're throwing something at your dog, and it's a cotton towel. It's no big deal. It's highly, highly effective. In fact, I did a phone consult with a client this week, a fellow dog trainer this week, that was rehabbing an aggressive dog. It was blowing through 100 on a remote collar, level 100. It would blow through it. It didn't care about the punisher of a 100 on a remote.
Wow.
But a cotton towel changed its world. Yeah. Next.
Help with new neighbors with 3 dogs and they are fence fighting. Bonker, no e-collar.
So, your neighbor's dogs we don't work with. You stay out of it. The best way to destroy a relationship with a neighbor is to work with their dogs or tell them what to do with their dogs. First of all, get yourself a remote collar. They're not that expensive at all. Just don't go out to dinner one night, and that's the cost of a remote collar. And then what you can do is use a remote collar, and you can stop fence fighting in a split second. Next.
How you doing, Jeff? Good day from Scotland.
Oh, good day. Hey, how are you?
It's Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Someone said leash pops, but I don't know what that is.
Go ahead. Yep.
Concerning.
Yep.
When you use the remote collar, how long do you hold the continue button when they stop the behavior?
All depends on what you're doing and how you train them, and if you're working on pressure on, pressure off, and if you're proofing it or if you're on the punishment stage. It all depends on how you taught the dog. So remote collar training is not about pushing buttons necessarily, just like food-based training is not about giving dogs food. So there actually has to be training there. So I'm not quite sure how you train, so that's important information to know. Next.
Good evening, Jeff and Linda from Common Sense Canine.
Oh, cool. Hi.
Can you put a bar collar on a 10-week-old puppy?
No.
No.
No. Please, okay, listen, if you have a 10-week-old puppy, and it's barking, welcome to the world of puppyhood. Mm-hmm. It's like having a baby and being like, the baby cries all the time. I know it does. And it shits in its diaper. Yeah, it does. And it doesn't walk yet. No, it doesn't. So same with a puppy. 10-week-old puppies, what do? They whine and they bark. Please don't put a remote collar or a bark collar on a 10-week-old puppy. So what it's going to do, it's going to suck for a while. So what do? You can walk up to the crate, hit the top of the crate, tell it to be quiet, but make sure it doesn't have to go out to go to the bathroom. So put your 10-week-old puppy on an intense schedule, an intense potty schedule, food schedule, water schedule, going out to go to the bathroom schedule. So you'll know if it's bullshit barking and whining or they're trying to tell you something. So if it's bullshit whining and barking, you would just tap the crate. But please do not use electronics on a 10-week-old puppy. Next.
When would you want to use comfort pads with mini educators?
Comfort pads are going to be for you. It's hard to use for a thick fur dog. You want to use them on a lot of dogs that are some small breed dogs. They work out really great, but also dogs without a lot of fur. Sometimes they get a little bit of irritation. Dogs that also have to wear the collar for long periods of time. Those can also work great better. But also remember your levels are going to be a little bit higher. Next.
How to feed raw on the long road. My hubby is a truck driver. We want to go with him.
You could do that's a refrigerator. So if your husband is a truck driver, he's got a fridge most likely in his rig. So you can do that. You can also do prepared. You can also bring a cooler, keep it in there, keep it frozen. There's a lot of different variables. Next, or just stop at stores every day and buy your ingredients. Next. I don't comment on other dog trainers, guys. So if you've got a question about another dog trainer, I don't comment on them. You'll never hear me commenting on other dog trainers. That doesn't mean I don't like them. I just don't comment on them, because it's just not what I do. So if you want to know more about that dog trainer, follow that dog trainer. Next. And it's not a competition thing. Trust me, I'm all for helping people. Next.
Is routine good for dogs?
Routine is everything for dogs. It's everything for dogs. It makes your life easier, and you can travel anywhere in the world when you have a good routine with your dogs. So I'm about to go on a 2-week, which is short for me. I'm about to go on a 2-week RV trip, do 2 different seminars. You can go to rvdogtrainer.com and you can go check them out. One is in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. Then I'm going up to Elkhart, Indiana. 2 of my dogs will be with me. They have no idea what state we're in. When they're walking nicely next to me, they have no idea where we are. When they're lying in the truck in my RV, they have no idea where we are. Next.
They must not be very smart.
No, they're not. No.
Is this Keeler? Is that how you say that?
The Keeler method of dog training. Keeler method of dog training is the KMODT, Keeler method of dog training. I think it can be wonderful. I think a lot of people misread it and misinterpret it. But so I think what it could be is it could be fantastic. I think every dog trainer should learn. Learn the 10-week class on it. Give it a shot, and you'll definitely pick up some good dog training skills. Next.
What do you do when the dog isn't scared of the bonker?
You're probably not using it properly, or if you happen to have that 1% dog that isn't, then you'll have to use something else. Next. You're probably not using it properly, though. You're probably not saying no, and then all of a sudden it magically goes flying at the dog. Remember, you don't want them to be seeing it. Next.
My dog barking at everything, even with shock collar.
Okay, so you might have bigger issues. And remember, shock collars can be magical, but they're also not magical. So it could be a crappy remote collar. The levels could not be on. It could be high enough. Also could be bad fit. Next.
What is the correct way to punish a dog that has peed on the carpet?
If it punishment to pee on the carpet is, it's your fault. So it's most likely it's human error. So where were you when this happened? And where was your dog? And what room was it in? And why was your dog not in front of you? So if you've got a young dog that's doing this, what you need to do is, again, massive routine and limited amount of real estate that the dog gets. So you want to have a really great routine and don't let your dog do any free roaming. But if you see pee on the carpeting and afterwards, it's sort of human error. It's our mistake. Next.
Yes, some dogs don't react to bonkers.
Very rarely. Very, very, very rarely have we seen that. Like, I can't remember the last one that has not responded well. Next. It's all, remember, you can use it wrong. Most people do because they're afraid of, like, oh my God, I'm throwing something at my dog. I'm going to hurt my dog. It's like, no, you're not. My dogs have run into trees. Like, my dogs have smashed into the windshield before. So next.
Dog on a long lead while hiking. Should we still use a prong collar?
I would remote collar train your dog. Remote collar train your dog. You don't have to, but I would remote collar train your dog instead. Next.
Thanks for everything.
Oh, you're welcome.
Is it true most dogs' working level is below a 10 on Mini Educator?
Most dogs is a pretty broad term. I think under 20 would probably be safer on that. But don't be worried about the number. But if you're working at like higher levels than that, it might be bad fit. Or it's mostly bad fit, which means it's not snug. It's not snug enough. Next. Also, it depends on the brand. You're talking about a Mini Educator or a dog truck. Next.
Jeff, a dog that we rescued pulls and really wants to meet dogs we don't know if it's friendly or aggressive.
It's not allowed to do that, guys. Your dog on a walk. It's not allowed, in my opinion, to meet other dogs. Because I'm walking down the street. I don't want to meet your dog. Like, I want your dog to stay away from my dog. Okay, I'm out for a walk. I'm not out for a meet and greet. Control your dog. So get a prong collar for your dog. I've got a video on how to pick out a prong collar. I've got a video on how to fit it. I've got a video on how to start using it, and then walk your dog properly. It's a wonderful opportunity for you to start basic relationship building and then basic training. The thing is, if your dog was off leash and it sees another dog across the street, it's going to get hit by a car. Also, when your dog is trying to get to the other dog, it's not paying attention to you. I don't want my dogs to care about other dogs or other people on walks. I only want my dogs to care about me. Next.
I don't really understand this one, but she is not patient. She would pee on a cloth.
I don't know.
1-year-old Chai Cross barking through bark collar.
Chances are it's bad. It could be a crappy bark collar, or it's bad fit, or it's not up high enough. Next.
Routine is everything for me too. LOL.
Yep. Everything. Yep.
What is your opinion on laser treatment for fear aggression?
I think it's probably a bunch of fucking bullshit. I never heard it before, but I can't imagine it working. Like, that's a physical therapy type thing. Like, where do they put the laser? Next.
I'm crate training 5-10-week-old corgis. There are tantrums. I just ignore. They learn quiet equals get out.
There you go. Next.
Love your content and transparency. Wish more trainers were like you. Most
trainers won't be because I've got a big ego, but their ego is bigger, and they really don't care about helping people. Just remember that. Whenever I make that, remember when I make that statement, like, oh no, no, they care about people. Dog trainers, no, they don't. They don't give a shit about people. They don't care if you're successful or not, and they don't care about dogs. They care about their own self-fulfilling prophecy. Next.
What is a bonker?
Bonker is Google it, like I Google anything that I don't know. It's a towel wrapped up, and it's used as a punisher. Next.
How do you train a dog to walk off a leash?
Start with it on leash, and then we do remote collar healing. Next.
Jeff, thanks. I learned so much from your seminar in Providence
last month. Awesome. Cool. Glad you were there. Thank you. Thank you for the kind words.
Any recommendations for when we're greeted by an off-leash dog when the dog owner isn't around?
Most likely you're going to be shooing it away, but you're going to most likely be neutralizing the threat. However, there was a great video. A great video was posted on Facebook this week of an off-leash dog. Looked like an Akita mix coming up to a Schnauzer. The Schnauzer was on a leash, and it killed the dog. It was all videotaped. You literally see the dog killing the other dog. It took about 4 seconds for the dog to die. Whenever you have an off-leash dog coming up at you, you neutralize the threat. Bottom line, what does that involve? Use your feet. Oh my God, you would kick a dog, Jeff? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would do worse to a dog. Like, how about my dogs? Like, how about the dogs that I've got on my leash? Like, I care more about them than I do about your off-leash dog, in a leashed area especially. So, yes, unfortunately, that dog will pay the price, but how about the dead miniature schnauzer in the video? And that would just happen to be caught by a security camera. Like, yeah, that's what you do. Dogs don't give a flying fuck about your feelings, and they don't care about your dog's feelings. They're out for themselves. So, no chances. No chances. Next.
What bark collar brands do you recommend?
You can do Garmin, eCollar Technologies. Next.
On rare occasions, my dog sometimes pees on her bed instead of pee mat in her contained area. Why?
Because you trained your dog to piss inside. That's why. Bottom line. So I don't believe in pee pads. You know what I mean? You know, I don't believe in pee pads at all. So the reason is you're teaching your dog to pee inside. Next. So I can't give you advice on that because I don't know. Next.
Dog fears and is nervous of men. How should we have men enter our home?
Any way you want to, technically, in the big picture, but let's start out like this. What I don't want you to do is I don't want you to think that if dudes come in your house with like food and yummy treats and they approach the dog's going to go, oh, so I get it. You're my best friend now. It doesn't work that way. The best thing to do is just have people ignore your dog. So you have to advocate for your dog. So what do? Have your dog go to place. If you have to kennel up your dog, but have your dog calm, have your dog off to the side. And when people come in, just tell people to ignore your dog. That's it. That's it. The exposure is the best thing right now. So get your dog to exist around other people, other guys. That's the best thing to do. And it doesn't mean some dude beat the shit out of your dog. Everybody's like that. Oh my gosh, he was abused by a man. No, he wasn't. He was probably not exposed to men. Why? Look at the industry. Look at the family pet industry. Look at the rescue industry. It's filled with women. That's why. Next.
Dog tried to retrieve my husband as he kayaked in the lake. One tap on e-collar and he turned. Bam.
There you go. Bam to you. Remote collar training recall at its best. Next. In water.
It's amazing.
Yes.
Thank you. Both my dogs are behaving better after 2 weeks of studying your info.
Look at that. Free shit gets results.
Go figure.
So, this is what I talk about all the time. Knowledge is not information. The implementation of knowledge is what it's all about. We all have access to the same stuff. I'm not repeating anything new. It's the people like whoever just wrote that's actually implementing the information, that's actually getting the results. Anybody can do this stuff. Anybody can do this stuff. Next.
Great info. Thanks. I will totally kick another dog that is a threat to my dog.
Of course you would. I would do way more than that. Next.
Hate to see off-leash dogs when the owner has no solid recall.
I know. It's a fact of life. Therefore, we have to prepare ourselves for it. Next.
Hi, lovely Linda. Well, hello, lovely Heather.
Nice.
I don't have another one yet. They're coming through. Got results immediately following your advice. Struggled 3 years on force-free training.
Yeah, guys, force-free training is a bunch of freaking lying, manipulating, cult-like methodology that is put out there by people who truly don't give a shit about you or your dogs. Fact. There's also no such thing as it. All dog training has force. Everything in life has force. It sounds pretty, though. It sounds good. I'm a force-free trainer. No, you're not. You're a liar, and you're unethical. And guess what? If you want to get into technicalities, we positively reinforce dogs to do obedience work. We are very big on reward-based training. Very big on reward-based training. How do you think we teach all of our basic commands? How do you think we teach trick training? You know what I mean? How do you think we psycho? You're right. People that are force-free people are psychos. I agree. Next.
You changed my Uh-oh, they're coming in fast now.
Yep.
You changed my life, drank the positive reinforcement only BS years ago.
Yep,
No
it's
more.
all BS. It's all BS. Don't get sucked into it. Nope.
How to stop fence running and killing grass.
Fence running with a remote collar. You make the act of fence. So the big question is how to stop fill in the blank. The only way to stop something, you know what I mean? Adam, you are actually the god of psycho. I look up to you and I bow down. So this is the thing. The only way to stop in unwanted behaviors through punishment. But that's the nasty word out there. Oh, so you believe in abusing dogs? It's like, why'd you have to go there? Why'd you have to go there? Well, it's like it's like, no. So anyway, this is the thing. A remote collar will stop that. Next.
LOL, let's go out to potty is forced.
Right. And next.
Family not on board with teaching with e-collar. Anything I can do to convince them otherwise?
Nope. Nothing you can do at all. They're on their own journey. So that's a family meeting, family discussion. What I would do is I would sit everybody down and have an educational talk about, okay, guys, these are the issues with our family pet, these issues here. There's only so many ways to train a dog. You can do reward or you can punish. That's it. There's nothing else, by the way, guys. That's it. There's 2 ways to train a dog. Reward them for doing something or punish them for doing something. That's it. Adam, I got to get you off there, buddy.
It's too bad, huh?
Yeah, it's too bad. We're having fun. All
That's
right.
funny.
So you sit them down and you be like, what do you guys suggest? Let's try it. Give them this. Give them 2 weeks. Hand them the dog and you say, in 2 weeks, guys, I want you to train these 3 behaviors and stop these 3 behaviors. Give them 2 weeks. Give them 2 weeks. You disagree with some of my ways? Maria, I would hope so. Who cares? You're entitled to disagree with 100% of what I do. But what you can do is this. You're on your own journey with your dog. That's awesome. But how about training hundreds of dogs and use your methodology, whatever you believe in, So your core ways, whatever you believe in, what I want you to do is try it with 100 dogs. And I want you to document it. All right, I want you to document it. And I want you to, I'm not arguing with you, Maria. I'm not arguing with you. But number one, you come onto my show, you're going to get a response or I'll kick you off because this is a dictatorship. Have your own Periscope. What I'm saying is you're on your own journey. Make your own videos, help massive amounts of people out there. Don't worry about what I'm doing. Seriously, don't worry about what I'm doing. You make your videos, I make my videos, and guess what? Everybody benefits. And then what happens is people will be drawn to you, they'll be drawn to me, they'll be drawn to both of us, they'll hate me, they'll like you. Like, don't worry about it. There's more dogs that are untrained out there. We both have job security. But to come onto my show and with your opening line to be, I don't agree with all your ways, that's no way to say hi to a person. That wasn't polite. So, rule number 1, be nice. Next.
There's a big difference between punishment and abuse.
Huge difference. Next.
Let's see. How to train dog to not turn around multiple times before going, I don't know where.
Don't worry about that. That's just, dogs do that all the time. I mean, if it was neurotic, Maria, the fact that you can hear my answer right now means you weren't disrespectful to me. You know how many people I block? Don't worry about it. If your dog was neurotically OCDing, turning around, we use a remote collar to stop that. But if it's just like 1 or 2 or 3 turns before they lie down, that's normal dog behavior. Next. Just watch National Geographic a couple times. Next.
You're my new favorite scoper.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you.
I got a Shiba Inu dog at 3 months old.
12 weeks. Yep.
And he is 1 year old now. I don't know what that.
Okay.
That's great.
You've had him for 9 months. It turned into a math show all of a sudden.
You know I'm not so good at math. What's going on here?
You've had the dog for 40 weeks. Next.
Oh, stop with the math. I need to set up a Skype session. Your information is awesome and much appreciated.
Do this, though. Join my Patreon channel. Skypes are cheaper. Patreon.com/solidk9 training. Skypes are cheaper if you join Patreon. Next.
I had a foster client that did great with prong, and shelter wouldn't pay for anything but positive only.
Oh, well.
Okay, well.
So unethical shelter. Tell the shelter to train. Tell the shelter to start putting out trained dogs. You know what I mean? Start telling them to put out trained dogs. Next.
What kind of dressage whips do you use? Any brand?
No, just go to. Actually, it's called the Stockyard Whip. Dressage whip technically is too. I call it dressage whip. It's too short. You use a Stockyard Whip. Just go to Tractor Supply. Next.
A small amount of bonker training made my GSDs so chill about neighbors walking dogs by my fence.
There you go. Congratulations. Next.
That's all I have right now.
All right, nice.
Let's see. They're coming in.
So you can check us out at Solid K9 Training. Solid K9 Training. Go there. It's a portal to everything we do. Everything we do is through Solid K9 Training. Instagram, Facebook, obviously our Periscope, the Patreon channel, YouTube, everything is through there. Oh, RV Dog Trainer as well.
Okay.
So I do seminars around the world. I think I'm doing 20 of them this year. Next.
Hip dysplasia cure.
I'm a dog trainer. You're asking the wrong person. That's a vet question, and then you'll also probably get a lot of different answers on that. I don't know if there's a cure to surgery, but don't ask me. Don't ask most dog trainers. You shouldn't ask about nutrition or medical, or legal or accounting. Next.
Linda, your hair coloring is looking good, girly. Working on teaching my 3 no furniture. Lots of work. There's a lot of work, and thank you for the hair.
So
compliment.
this is how you get a dog to not be on the furniture. Simple thing. You make it suck to be on the furniture. Bottom line, whenever you want to stop it, you make it suck. Now, a lot of people say, oh, no, make it fun to be off the furniture. Okay, but it's fun for them to be on the furniture. They're already having fun. They're already enjoying themselves. So you have to make it suck. Next.
I finally made it. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
At what age can you start an e-collar on a dog?
You can start them as young as 14 weeks old for teaching the dog the concept of pressure on, pressure off. Next.
Do you think all dogs are capable of e-collar, off-leash heel, or will some never be able to?
Can we all play in the NBA? Can we all get become computer programmers? Can we all do, dog training is simpler than that. That's the cool thing. Can every single dog out there learn to heel off leash? I think probably 99%, if not higher, of them can, yes. If you have the right training program. And it doesn't have to be my training program at all. I can care less how you train dogs. Just train them. Get off your ass and train your dog. I can care less how you do it. But if you're spending like 6 months to a year on basic obedience, you're doing something wrong. It's the wrong program. But most dogs can be trained to do all basic stuff. And walking off leash it's not quite basic, but it's like 8th grade. Next.
Would you suggest keeping e-collar on all day?
Depends. If you're out and about with your dog all day, yeah. But just make sure you rotate it every 4 to 6 hours. Next.
What is the routine working spot at your seminar?
What's the routine working? What do you mean routine? The routine working spot, as far as the prices they fluctuate from anywhere from $400 to $500, and that's U.S. and then Canadians, and then on Canadian money it's even more, and then on my overseas ones it's more because of the translation. But you average around $450. What's the routine? Your dog is there for 16 hours, and even if it's not physically working, it's still working. It's still working because there's a lot of duration work. The dog's doing a lot of nothing. Next.
Can I use e-collar for fence reaction?
Absolutely. It's one of probably the best tool for fence reaction. Next.
Proper position for a bark collar on the neck. I see it on the side and right under the mouth.
Usually bark collars go on vibration. Usually it's a vibration thing, so you're going to want it right there. But I imagine it's going to work in a lot of different spots. Next.
Place is very important.
Place is a great command.
Just stay away from PetSmart training, LMAO.
This is the thing, guys. This is the thing about your big box stores. We don't name names here. So the big box stores are this. if you're a young dog trainer and that's your first job, you know, more power to you. Welcome to the industry. It's a great place to start. You know what I mean? If you're, you know, it's a great place to start. As far as if you're a dog owner, your level of expectation, you know, can't be like that high. But as long as that's not your, as long as that's just your first rung of the ladder, good for you. But if that's your last rung of the ladder, or if you decide to stay there, you're going to struggle. Next.
Curious what tools you are or will use for your Chihuahua.
For our Chihuahuas aren't trained to do much of anything. We don't do anything really. They go on a treadmill, they walk around, they go outside, they cuddle. Like they're mostly Linda's dogs. They're not like these active working Chihuahuas that are like there's somebody on here named Heather. She's got 3 small dogs. Those dogs are highly trained, and she's got remote collar. But you can use a lot of stuff on a Chihuahua.
I think place is important.
Place is important for every dog. Yeah.
Screen's going crazy. Don't diss the Canucks.
I love Canada. I'm going to be up in Canada in, I think, less than a month. Next.
I tried the bonker in the car and barely used it, and my anxious GSD was quiet for the first time.
There you go. Next.
I hate taking my dog to PetSmart. All the stuff always reaches and pets the head.
Don't take your dog then. Don't. I would put it this way. I would never take my dogs into a big box store. I have before, but that's not my thing. That's not my thing. I'm not interested in that. Next.
What is the best way to train a German Shepherd?
Well, the best way to train any dog is through balance. So it's through balance. So it's reward and punishment, and tons of structure, massive amounts of structure. Next.
How do I correct my dog's fearful reaction towards children?
The number one thing to do with your dog's fearful reaction around children right now is work on existence. So don't allow kids to come up to your dog. Like having a kid come up to your dog with food and wanting to pet it is not it's not going to be better for the dog. It's going to be worse. So the best thing to do is to get your dog to exist around kids. By being around children, keep your dog in a proper heel and have your dog like around lots of kids. Next.
Yeah, Whitney, they do cuddle. They are best friends. How do I train my Rottie with an e-collar for not attacking the cat?
Well, there's a couple different ways. You can either do existence or avoidance. Personally, avoidance is a great way to start, which means you keep your dog away from the cat. So you make it suck for the dog to attack the cat, which would be a high-level remote collar correction. Next.
How was your Chihuahua? Wasn't it at the vet?
Yeah, there's a neck disc issue most likely. We're at the first stages of investigating. Mm-hmm. Next. Thank you. Yeah, we went to the vet today. That was on Instagram stories.
I appreciate you taking it right away.
Check out Instagram stories.
My Chai rode on a 5-point infant car seat.
Yeah, there you go.
Go Heather. Her dogs are awesome.
Yeah, they really are.
She's amazing with her dogs. I'm really impressed. My child. Okay, we did that one already. Why is this showing up? Let's see. Is there an age when it's too late to teach behavior?
No, I mean, dogs pretty much all dogs can be trained if they're breathing, and if they're not breathing, they just do a good downstay for a long time. But no, most dogs can be trained at any age. Next. I mean, you have to have a level of expectation. If you've got a dog that's, 16 years old and like it's barely moving, like don't expect a lot of stuff, but your average dog that's moving properly, it's cognitively aware, of the situation, it's motivated by either reward or punishment, you can teach your dog. Next. But some people ask that question about like, my dog is 2. Is it too old to train? That's because some dog trainers will tell you that. Next.
Dogs bark at us on the other side of the fence. How can I help my dog? I think he's just protecting.
Well, hold on now. Whose dog? Yours dogs or other people's dogs?
Dogs bark at us on the other side of the fence. How can I help my dog? Is he barking back?
If your dog's barking back, okay, so if the question is, when we walk by barking dogs, my dog barks back. How do I stop my dog? So if that's the question, what we do is we use a little bit of space. So we use a little bit of space first. So you don't go right on the sidewalk. You go farther away. You know, you don't do the BAT protocols, which are a bunch of bullshit. They weren't designed for dogs, and they also don't work. You know, what you do is you start out a little bit across the street and you work your way closer, and that's how you do it. But you know what, though? If I was walking my dogs down the sidewalk and a bunch of dogs were rushing the fence, I would move out of the way. Like, I mean, no, I'm not interested in walking my 2 dogs past a bunch of barking dogs. I'm not interested in that conversation. I'm just be like, listen, go ahead, barking dogs. Bark all you want. We're out of here. Next.
Good evening, Jeff, Linda, and Jeff. Hope all is well. I hope you are getting warm up that way. Yankee Woman, it's slowly but surely happening.
I was just in. We just bought another house down in Florida. I was just there for 5 days, and it was warm. I'm home today, and I'm going back down to Florida tomorrow. I'm meeting up with Sean, and Sean and I are flying out to see Tori for 2 days. We got to do some filming for our T3 seminar. Next.
Whatever. Hey, Jeff, I'm so proud of Ruby. We went into I think it says restaurant, and
yep.
I can't see the rest.
So Debbie, you went into a restaurant most likely, and your dog did a downstay and didn't react to people around. It's mostly like it is because I know you were working on that. So proud of you. Next.
When will we see a smaller remote collar for smaller dogs?
I don't know, man.
I'd be interested in testing one of those out.
I don't know. Next.
Hopefully y'all won't have to have surgery on your little one. I don't think that's an option right now.
Yep. Next.
Good evening, Linda and Jeff. Hope, that's, somebody repeated that.
Next.
When do we use the adapter for the e-collar for small dogs? What length of neck?
That's a good, the adapter for the small dogs is probably going to be on a dog that's under 8 pounds usually under 8 pounds. It takes the contact points and it makes them smaller, but you can also use sometimes a comfort pad as well. Next.
You guys are such a cute couple.
Aww.
That's when we go. Thank you. We appreciate that.
Next.
Thanks for showing that Q&A on Patreon the other day. Excellent. Think I will join.
Yeah, it's really good.
My mentor says that when dogs sit on your feet, that they are claiming you. Thoughts? No, they're sitting on your feet.
Ask 3 dog trainers that question. You're going to get 3 separate answers. Next.
My dog is 10 and hobbled. Any tips on how I can keep her brain stimulated?
Yeah, you can do you can do nose work. You can do some trick training that doesn't involve like maybe a lot of different physical activity. There's a couple of different things you can do. You can do some brain games if you want to. Do things like that. Next.
When dog becomes fearful of a walk from an environmental, how can I stabilize her state of mind? So
what you're going to do is we're going to work the dog through it. Work the dog through it. So remote collar healing dramatically helps your dog through environmentals that your dog is unsure of. So what happens is when your dog's already afraid, you can use fear to rehabilitate fear. And trust me, I'm very aware of the conversation out there. Oh, you use fear to train dogs? Yeah. And we use fear as human beings to train ourselves as well. So what I would do is this. Remote collar, the dog's afraid. You reinforce your heel command with probably a higher level of remote. Now your dog becomes more concerned about you than it does, not afraid of you, concerned about you than the environmental. And boom, basic survival. It's basic survival skills. Next.
How can I untrain my dog to pee inside on a mat? She's an inside dog while we are at work.
So I don't train how to piss in the house or piss in workplace. I wouldn't want my dog to do that. I don't know. I'm the guy that trains dogs how to pee outside. So I don't know. Next.
How would you safely set up a dog who tries to police other dogs who rough play, growl, and bite?
Yeah, so your dog is sheriffing. So we do that in a social situation. We use a dressage whip. You can use a remote collar for that. A dressage whip, a little tap on the butt for sheriffing. So if you see us in our socialization yard, in our videos or in our photos, you'll see that we use dressage whips. You barely have to use them. Why? Because just like when a police officer drives behind you, even with the lights off, you change your behavior. So one more way that fear changes behavior. You're driving down the streets. A police officer drives behind you.
That happened to me today.
Even with its lights off.
I stayed the speed limit.
You change your behavior. They put up one of those cameras on the side of the road that's for speeding. It changed my behavior. I'm afraid of getting a ticket. Fear is a powerful motivator. I'm not afraid of the street. I'm not afraid of the police. I'm not afraid of my car. I'm afraid of the consequence. Therefore, my behavior will change. I'm a huge fan of traffic cameras. I have all these people that are pissed off because, oh my God, that traffic camera caught, I got a ticket for going 35 at a 25. And it's the camera's fault? No, buddy, it's your fault. You're the one speeding. Like, it's called 100% responsibility. Be responsible for your own actions. You wouldn't have gotten the ticket if you were driving the speed limit. I wish there was traffic cameras everywhere. Everywhere. I'm a huge fan of traffic cameras. Next.
My opinion on them is different than yours. Which punishment method?
Do you have your own show, Linda, on Facebook Live? You can keep your comments to your show.
See how he treats me? You see? You see this.
Next.
Yeah, I'm walking out. I'm on strike. Which punishment method do you recommend, or how do you safely punish a dog?
Well, this is it. The thing about punishment is this. This is the thing about punishment. You're not angry. You're not mad. It's a consequence. It's just a matter of fact. I reward you for what I like. I punish you for what I don't like. Now, what's an effective punisher? You have to use something the dog feels relevant about. What will stop the behavior? So we can stop behaviors a lot of different ways. It doesn't have to be always painful at all. You could do this. Your dog countersurfs. This is not how we fix countersurfing. We fix countersurfing with remote collars. Why? It's easy. It's efficient. You can do it remotely. There's no massive setup to it. Take a piece of food that your dog likes. Tie fishing wire to it. Attached to the fishing wire is 10 empty soda cans. The dog grabs the food item, pulls it off the counter. The soda cans come crashing to the ground, making a shitload of noise. They scare the hell out of the dog. The dog stops getting up on the counter. The dog, there was no physical discomfort at all to that dog. None whatsoever. Zero. We can agree on that, right? There's no physical discomfort. But the dog stopped doing it. Why? Because fear is a powerful motivator. That's a very good punisher. Now, why don't we do that? Because I own remote collars. It's way easier with a remote collar. Dog gets up on the counter. You're looking through a baby camera or through a window. You make it suck. Yeah, you make it very uncomfortable to jump on counters. Boom. So it's not necessarily going to be always pain. So you've got to figure out what's going to motivate your dog to stop doing something. What you don't do is redirect. I don't believe in redirecting. Redirecting is technically a reward. So be careful about going down that street. A lot of times they'll say, oh, well, if you don't want your dog to bite you, give it something to bite. That's how you train dogs to bite you. You reward them for biting you. No, no, no. I'm rewarding them for not biting me. No, you're not. Bite. Bone shows up. Bite this instead. Oh, I'll take that. Of course the dog stops biting you. But what did you teach your dog to do? Bite, reward. Bite, reward. So don't redirect. Next.
First Periscope. I am truly honored to see you in San Diego.
Cool.
Awesome.
Next.
Jeff, you're awesome. Come to Orange County, New York.
How about this? You're close to me. I'm going to be in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. Most people drive usually up to 10 hours. The longest was 36 hours. Somebody at my last seminar drove 20 hours. So I've got a seminar in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. I've got a seminar in Long Island. Both of those are very close to you. I've got one coming up in Baltimore. That's close to you. I've got one then again in Providence. That's close to you. So I'm probably not going to be in Orange, New York. So because I can't be everywhere at once. So definitely want to drive. Next. Whitney's driving 13 hours to Kelowna. I'm going to be in Austin, Texas. Guys, go to rvdogtrainer.com. I love Texas. Barbecue and guns. I'm in heaven. Next.
Small adapter is about circumference of neck, not length.
Right.
That comes from Heather.
Next.
She would know. Trainer told me not to use treats, so they work for you and not for food.
There's a big difference between reward-based training and bribery-based training. So food is a powerful motivator. When I first started getting into dog training, I was against food. You know why? I wasn't shown how to properly do it. That's why. Everybody that I learned that was trying to teach me was bribing the dog. And I'm not against luring at all. But there's a big difference between reward and bribery. So food is a powerful motivator. Next.
The rest of Debbie's statement is here. Took Ruby into restaurant today. So proud. No barking. She was perfect. Stayed under booth. Proud of her.
There you go. Awesome.
Perfect.
Next.
As a registered vet tech, it's so refreshing to hear your advice and answers.
Yep.
Nice.
Awesome. Thank you for the kind words, everybody. Next.
Dog wants me to chase him. Punishment?
No. Just dogs are trying to engage in play. I mean, to stop it, you can say, teach the dog the word no, obviously. But you can also have fun with your dog. Turn it into a game. But just make it on your terms. Make it on your terms. It's fun to do that. In the wintertime, I do that with my dogs. We like play fight. You know what I mean? I chase them around. I try to give them a slap on the butt.
He does it to me, too. He chases me around.
Yes, I slap on the butt. Nice. Damn right I do. Damn. $50 make you holler. Next.
You always make things so relevant.
Yeah.
Thanks, Cheryl John.
It's all relevant, man. Next.
We love you, Linda. Well, thank you. Dog is itching and at prong collar with a snug fit. Adding a link makes it too loose. Thoughts?
You can stop the itching by just literally just don't let the dog scratch it. Everyone's like, it's itching. A lot of times dogs will scratch to stop doing what you want them to do too. They take a little scratch break. So we find a lot of dogs, once they get used to the collar, they do fine. Next.
I want to see Linda do her makeup show right here. Well, no. And if Jeff tried to do dog training on mine, he'd get in so much shit. It wouldn't even be funny. Am I right, Jeff?
I share her shows on my personal Facebook page, though.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice of you.
Of course I do.
Does dog learn from that first time hearing the Coke can?
I don't use that technique, but they can. They can. Some dogs probably don't care, but a lot of dogs do. Next.
Does dog learn from, repeating that? We're driving 13 hours to Kelowna. That's amazing.
Kelowna. I'm looking forward to Kelowna. Kelowna's coming up. Looking forward to it.
How do I get my AM staff to come when called more frequently?
Teach your dog a proper recall. Recall is the come command. We like to teach recall on a remote collar because a remote collar works up to a mile away. Some of the models work up to a mile away, and they work with high levels of distraction. But it's all done first on a long line. So we use long line, food, and remote collar, and you do lots of repetitions, and then you get the dog into punishment mode to make sure that you can proof them, and then you practice. And then you proof it against environmentals, and then you got your dog that comes when called. Next.
Can I use a remote collar to correct my dog's fear of children?
Yes and no. Yes and no. It's all about how you do it. So I don't want to just be like, of course you can, and then all of a sudden your dog's afraid of kids and you go zap, because it doesn't work that way. The first thing you want to do is get your dog to exist around kids, advocating for your dog. So, hey kids, nope, you can't pet my dog. Hey dog, walk next to me politely. But you have to understand about pressure sources. Kids are pressure sources. You've got to understand about your dog going into a slight avoidance, and do you correct it or do you accept it? You've got to understand how to advocate for your dog. So there's a lot of different variables involved. But the number one thing to think of is having your dog next to you by advocating, by you push away environmentals for right now, and your dog goes, oh, so Jeff will keep me safe. Yep, I'll keep you safe. Don't worry. Next.
I want to go to Austin. Hope to come from Baton Rouge.
Awesome. Austin's going to be a good one. Next.
Oh, is it? Should I force a shutdown dog to walk, or is there another way?
For us, when you've got a shutdown dog, a lot of people will be like, build a relationship. Yeah, that's going to take a long time. Use food. It won't take food. Use a toy. It won't take a toy. It's shut down. So I documented my work with feral dogs. I worked with a 5-pack of feral dogs in South Carolina over a weekend. These dogs are not fearful. They are feral, and truly feral dogs. I mean, a lot of people say, oh, I work with feral dogs. I'm like, oh, really? Tell me about it. It's like, no, that's not a feral dog. Like, just because the dog was wandering in the street, that doesn't make it feral. So the total avoidance and fear of human beings, and there's a whole group of dogs, especially down south, mostly, that are very feral. Genetically, they're effed up, and then they're effed up just like behaviorally as well. So yes, I used force, and guess what? We unlocked their brain. It's a great video to watch. You can look it up on YouTube. Next.
My dog ate a small nail, Heather. Now it's going to suck if she laps up stuff on the ground again.
Yep.
Life saving.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
It's going to suck, though.
Yeah.
I have an American Bulldog that constantly runs off.
So if you got a dog, doesn't make a difference the breed of the dog. Any dog that runs off, number one, keep it on a long line. So it's not allowed off leash. It has to be on a leash. And train it recall, which is the come command or the here command. And we do that again. I mentioned that before. I've got a video on that on YouTube. I got a video just about almost on everything on YouTube. It's not categorized at all because it's free. Next.
In one of your videos, you were playing with a German Shepherd, had a towel with ropes at ends. Where can I get one? The tug toy, I think, is what she's talking about.
Oh, that's a proper tug toy.
Yeah.
Oh, a tug toy you can get from any working dog, online store. Ray Allen, probably RayAllen.com, Learberg.com. Those are just those are tug toys. If that's what you're talking about. Yep, it's a proper tug toy.
I think that's what it was. Yeah. It looks like a towel.
Well,
it's not. It's really
not.
like vinyl.
Yeah, no, it's not vinyl.
No, like some sort of weird canvas, right? Heavy canvas.
It's a tug toy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tug material, bite sleeve material.
Yeah, that's what it is. Tug material.
Yes. Next.
Whatever that is. Love you guys. We love you too, Yankee woman. Why long leash when you can use a retractable leash?
Because retractable leashes can be very dangerous, first of all. So retractable leashes can be extremely dangerous. They're also, they can snap at the end. And you also can't have them drag. You can't have them drag. So a long line is great because it can drag. The dog could drag it. So that's why. I highly encourage people not to use retractable leashes. Those are probably one of the worst dog training pieces of equipment on the market. Next.
A lot of people get hurt from those.
Yeah, they do.
Do you have any experience training hunting dogs?
Do not. Not for hunting. Not for the hunting part. No. Recall, sure. Obedience, sure. Public access, sure. But for the task of hunting, no. You want to find yourself a good hunt dog trainer, field dog trainer, then there's plenty of them out there. In different pockets of the country, there's a ton of them. Next.
Scars on my wrist from retractable leash. Hate them.
Yep. You can actually lose a finger.
Mm-hmm.
Lose a finger.
Our kids were playing with one of those retractable tape measures.
Oh my God, yeah.
And one of them ended up hurt.
Yep.
That was dumb on my part.
Yep.
What's the unlock the dog with a shutdown brain video title?
Probably feral dogs. Just type in feral dog.
How many feet for a long line?
That's a personal choice. 30 feet, probably a 30-foot minimum. And dogs, if your dog starts running away, don't reach down and grab it. Step on it. Step on it. Next.
My dog snuggles up to wife all the time. Why does she ignore me? Is it because I smoke?
She hates you.
Wants you dead.
Wants you dead. Don't take it personally. Or yes, quit smoking. Your dog will love you more. Absolutely. I don't know, man. Some dogs are just drawn to certain people in the house, but don't take it personally. Don't take it personally. Next.
Seems like you guys are in a frisky mood.
Yeah, this is sort of us every day. This is what you get.
We're frisky. That's all I have right now.
That's it. How much time we got?
We've got about
55 minutes. So you can go to solidk9training.com, solidk9training.com, rvdogtrainer.com. Then you can check out tons of free content on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope archives, obviously.
Oh, 9 yards.
Patreon is fun. You can ask, like on Monday, you can ask questions on Mondays. You can put your question in and you'll get a big answer, nice long answer. You can do Skypes with me. I do a lot of Skypes. That's how I make a living, actually, between owning the business and Skypes. So, yeah, Patreon is fun, Jasmine. Jasmine, I was just down in Florida. Just down in Florida. I'm not part. What part you live in? Yep.
I've got a doozy for the next Patreon Q&A.
Save for Monday. It's Monday. I'll get ready for Monday. I'll post it on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for jumping on. I know.
Oof.
We're about an hour from you.
Oh, nice.
In Bradenton. Nice. So we just bought another house in Bradenton. Closed on it on a Monday. I was down there for 4 days. And had to buy all the furniture and stuff. Yeah, I'll be in Elkhart, Indiana. That's always a good seminar. That I'll be doing for let's see, teaching dogs how to swim at that one.
We got a couple more questions.
Oh.
Who taught you to be so tech savvy, Jeff? You've been on the top of the game for a while.
I made a lot of. I just figured it out myself. Do you know what I mean? Figured out myself. Just trial and error. I'm not afraid of making mistakes. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, guys. Always informative.
Oh, you're welcome.
What was the training you mentioned we should take up 10 weeks in?
Keeler method. Koehler. Keeler method of dog training. KMODT. Look it up.
Thanks, Jeff. We love you.
Oh, you're welcome. Love you too.
My dog stretches out like a human and hogs up the bed. Should be in crate. It's up to you.
Personal choice. So I'm not against dogs in beds. I'm not against dogs on the couch. But what's your dog's behavior? So if you've got a dog that's got aggression, it doesn't belong in the bed or the couch. Resource guarding doesn't belong in the bed or the couch. Separation anxiety doesn't belong there. Reactivity doesn't belong there. But it's sort of like if your dog is stretching out and making your bed life uncomfortable, get the dog off the bed. Like, you don't need my permission. Like, just do it. Just do it. Sometimes I want to be vague with my answers because I want people to be like more assertive and just do it.
Thank you for saying thanks.
Yeah, Linda's great.
Just doing my job.
That's it. We're doing it. We're doing it. All right, everybody. We're out of here. Thank you so much. We'll see everybody next week. And yeah, I had a great time in Florida. I'll be back again tomorrow. I get back there. And then we're going in May. Try to get Linda to go with me. I got to go in and
just lining up my childcare.
Just in May, probably the first weekend of May, first week of May, we'll go for 3 days or so. So, no, this is unusual. I usually never. What day of the week is today?
Saturday.
Saturday. No, we never do Saturday. But I was out of town on Monday, and I'm out of town this Monday. So, and you can always watch the replay. The replays are always up. They're up on my YouTube page. Or just go right on the Periscope page as well. All right, everybody. Yeah, she had the favorite code on. I know.
Hey.
Awesome, everybody. All right, good night, everybody on YouTube.